Good evening, all. This is Tom working on the layout. I finally resolved the problem I was having with my EB1s. These two ovals were connected together by this crossover, and I isolated it. Again, I put some polyurethane in between those rails now, and they're drying, and now that whole crossover is dead, and I tested it with my voltmeter. Then what I did was I shorted one of the lines, and they both went out again. So I don't know if you all saw my last video where I installed all those terminal blocks. So I went under the layout and checked, and on that side over there, those two feeders there and those two feeders there, which are two different blocks, are backwards. I have the inside track going to the outside bus line, and the inside bus line, or the outside bus line going to the inside bus line, and the outside feeders going into the other side. So with the terminal blocks, all I have to do is unscrew them and move the wires over and put them back in. And this must have been the way it was, and didn't realize it. I had the bus lines labeled, but even though you have them labeled, you still can get the feeders mixed up, especially when they're right next to each other and stuff like that. So I also got my little engine there working, number 937, with Digitrack DZ123. It runs, but I don't know if it's that reliable yet. It goes and stops and goes and stops. I got to figure that one out. But I'm working it in the yard there, and that's where I recently ballasted all the track, and I cleaned it once. Maybe I just need to give it another cleaning and see. It's hard to run it because they're short runs, and you don't get good. I have to push it a little bit sometimes to get it to run, so I'm not sure. I got to play around with that, and maybe I'll get another Tsunami controller to put sound in it at a later time. I saw a video, a guy had sound in his GE 44-ton switcher. I got a 70-ton switcher coming. That should be here later this week or early next week. I don't know. We'll see the difference in those two. And I'm planning to put a helix in here too. I just decided I wanted to put another level up, and I'm going to put the helix right in this corner here. Hopefully it'll fit. I found a company in Virginia that makes the parts, and a relatively inexpensive way of doing it. Especially, you don't have to buy all the tools that you need to cut out the wood and then buy the wood. This way it's all, you just assemble it. So I'm going to have to build a base 47 inches square, and then come up with how high up I want to go, and see if that, then I can put another level up here and run trains up and down, which will be pretty cool. So that's the next major project, is the helix. But that's going to probably be not until the fall time. So I'm just trying to get this other layout here all operational with my JMRI dispatcher and everything, and getting the trains to run smoothly over here before I disrupt the line again by fitting it into the helix. So I got to figure out where I want to break up the track and get to the directions and all that kind of stuff. I got to figure out yet. But that was just a quickie on my double crossover issue. Now I got to put feeders on that double crossover, and I'll probably put a BD20 or 2 BD20s in there to you know, show that that's occupied, and you know, that's not that difficult. It's a tight fit, but I can put a feeder here, which is easy to get to, and then one on this side, and that gives energy going this direction, and then the same thing on this side, and then down here put a feeder, and then that'll be all independent, and won't be affected if a short on one of the tracks, the others will continue to run. So that's what I wanted to show, and hope everybody has a good 4th of July weekend coming up, and we'll see you in the next video.